All right, welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. We are back with surviving as a trader in space. And last we left off is getting into this station and being very, very alone. So, luckily, kind of reloaded the mods a bit, and we have our friends back. So, not sure what happened, but I didn't even do much. I just went to the mod list, reloaded, and they're back. So, luckily, we're not alone anymore. This is great. All right, so as I was trying to fix that issue, I was going to do that like 8 search contracts that were listed here. But of course, that all recycled, so not going to be doing that. But in the terms of acquisitions, I found this one to be interesting. 63 thrusting components to do 2,842,000. So that's going to help us make a lot of money. So we can make certain things, and buy certain things. But the biggest problem that we have there is still not going to be able to make a lot. Because we can only buy, well, we could buy a decent amount of components here. So that's not too bad. So it looks like we're making most of our money by going back and forth with buying components and dismantling them instead of going to an ore station or mining station where we buy the actual raw ores and convert them to iron, nickel, silicon, and all that stuff. And then that way we can start making stuff and selling it. That's a lot faster. But we don't have the luxury of doing that because we ain't got one of those economy bases nearby. So I think we should be okay to do it this way for now, as we're making a decent chunk of money back and forth from, or getting a decent chunk of money from the contracts and things like that. Can you talk to these people? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Anyways, just looked it up. Didn't see anything in terms of them actually talking. So there's that. Okay, so kind of curious to see. I'll let this kind of sort itself out. But I did come back here so I can buy some more data pads. And still kind of rolling the dice here to find a ore station. Although we technically don't really need it. It would be kind of a nice to have kind of situation. I mean, we could venture out to one of these further ones too. But then we just gotta hope that those bases actually have hydrogen and oxygen to sell. Because we all know ice is not a sold item. So we need to stay close to those in order to get our survival done by breathing with oxygen and flying the ship with hydrogen. So that's the biggest problem we have. That's why I want to stick closer to this base rather than our ship selling bases. Although, if we have enough money, we can buy another ship and everything like that. But it's still going to be pointless if we ain't got the hydrogen and oxygen for our survival here. Okay. I just did a whole bunch of data pads now, so we're just gonna search around to see if there's any close ones. They're so far, the PRs. I mean, this one's not bad. That'll take us like a half an hour to get to, to be honest. I don't know if we want to do that, but we could if we are building on the base and just like free floating there. It wouldn't be terrible. All right, so we got a few ones that's a little bit further away as well. This is MK. We don't need MKs too far. If they're closer, it would be nice, but they're pretty far away. And a lot of these are in the planet, which is the sucky part. And as I mentioned before, I don't really plan to go into a planet, so there's that. Is this the planet one actually, or is it this one? Oh, they're both. Yeah, I think this was the planet one as well. We'll ping that one out just in case. I just want to check that out. That one should be near us into the planet as well. And that's it. It looks like our best bet is to travel pretty far away just to see what they have in the other economy bases. Although they might even be in planets too. It could be in Mars, it could be an alien planet, and all that stuff. So that's the biggest problem. The SL, yeah, that's the one that doesn't necessarily look like it's in the planet, but it is. See, that doesn't even look like it's on the planet. That's the weirdest part. Do we have two SLs nearby? That's 73. No, that's the only one. Why does it look like that? Like it's not even on the planet itself. Huh? I mean, the planet is round, so it might be around the corner. It's just got to get a little bit further out in order to see it. I'm pretty sure that's the same one we've already been to, so we're gonna ignore that. All right, so we do have two outstanding acquisitions, and I was curious to see if I can maybe get the thruster components done. And by doing that, it is this is on as well, which it should be off. So the idea was we don't need 3 iron thrusters. So this one was gonna go and be sold if possible. And let's see, 80 thruster components. Okay, so that's $2 million we can easily make by getting rid of this one in terms of a ion thruster. Now, do we really want to do that? If we do that, yes, we'll net $2 million, but it'll be so hard to get back that money. And get back those parts to make if we ever need another thruster. Or ion thruster, that is. Because there's no way we're going to be able to buy all that ever again. So that's the biggest problem. Actually, no, we could buy it. We could buy and sell? No. Was I looking at that wrong? No. Sorry. Okay, you know what? That makes more sense. So we could buy in the long run if we need to. It's a little expensive. If I were to buy all 63 back or 62 back, 63 back, it's going to cost us 2.9 million. But if we're selling it or putting in the acquisition, it's 2.8. So we lose 100,000 if we were technically buying and selling that way. It's quick cash for something we're not using currently. So I don't know. That's tough. Do I want to do that? It sounds like a good and bad idea. The good idea because then we have money to buy other things. The bad idea is we lose all that thruster components for no reason. Plus, do we even need that much money right now? I mean, we want to put weapons up sooner or later too, so we can start doing some battling in bases and other NPC ships and things like that too. So, I don't know. What do we do here? Do we make the quick cash or we don't? This is, yeah, a problem. I might just do it only because we need the money. We can always buy it back down the line if we have to. So tough call, but yeah, let's do it. I have to do it outside of, obviously. Or do we sit on it for now? No, let's just do it. Okay, so the idea is to take this one out. We'll put a steel block here, a light armor block here in its place for now. And like I said, most of this is running off of hydrogen currently anyway, so we should be okay. But yeah, easy money, but I might regret this. Let's hope not, but it could happen. I might regret this acquisition. All right, let's get the spotlight. So the spotlight's working out great for us in terms of getting this connected. So we can see down right there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There we good. Connect there. We'll just recharge a little bit more. I kind of want to recharge this ship a bit out. Fully recharge in 2 hours. We could chill here for 2 hours. Just kidding. No, we're definitely not gonna do that. Here goes nothing. We're gonna dump this in there. Really don't want to do it. But I guess we have to. All right, so I should have made the motors too. Let's put this. Do I have it? I might have it. Nope. 2.8. Okay, so that's not bad. Let's make the motors as well. 111 motors. We might not have enough nickel to make it all. Ooh, that's not good. Is that true or no? It might not be true because we have nickel right here. Well, that's all of it too. Ooh, should I be doing that? Yeah, we should be fine in terms of nickel. All right, we gotta find a new way of doing all the conversion, especially with a non mining base in terms of buying and selling components. I know somebody mentioned in comments down below that you're always gonna lose out if you do it this way, which I'm pretty sure is the case. So things for steel plates or iron would be buying girders, interior plates, things like that. That's the only way we get a decent amount of iron directly without calculating everything else. Superconductors, we technically need 1,000 of these things, which, whew, that's expensive. And that'll be for a jump drive. A jump drive would be nice, but it's not going to help us too much because we are not going to have enough power. That's where your uranium comes in hand. And that's why we need a base that sells mining stuff like ores and things like that and uranium. So me being 3 mil rich now, still kind of pointless. All right, in terms of what they sell, we have like girders, that's 2 iron. All right, I'm gonna list that down. Interior plates they sell is 1 iron, so that's actually 1-to-1. That's not too bad. Anything else that's 1-to-1? Did we buy construction components? I think so. And we could do the rest. Small steel tubes. I don't think we bought those before, but we'll list it anyways. All right, so we're gonna make it a little more complicated too. So we're gonna do the iron and nickel. All right, so I got a few good listings here. I'll put it on the screen right here in terms of my spreadsheet of all the mats and its breakdown. I do need to find the breakdown per or good average for per iron, nickel, silicon, cobalt, things like that in order to make this all make sense. We're looking for per ingot cost in this case too. So I'm not sure how we're going to do that with our limited knowledge or limited amounts of things we could buy and sell. But we still could make heads or tails out of it too. So like a girder, as we know, it just takes 2 iron. And then we convert something to sell for iron. Oof, that's a little tough. Because we're going to sell like detector components, radio components, and solar cells at this point. That's where it gets tricky. So you kind of got to take multiple things into factor here. So if we're in the business of just buying and selling detector components and radio components, then that kind of works out. Solar cells as well. But if we're talking about detector components, that is 1.67 iron and 5 nickel. So we got to do the conversion rates there in terms of what has that and how we can do that. And that is probably going to be motors. If we could buy motors, I don't see it right now. But if it was a thing in terms of buying and selling motors, we could do that. That definitely has nickel. Oh, we could buy large steel tube. That takes 10. So that's easy math to figure out. So this one would be 187 or 188 conversion for just the iron itself. And this is 213. So it's cheaper to buy large steel tubes than it's to interior plates for the cost of an iron. So let's do that conversion now, actually. So here we have our crazy information here, although we need to kind of change this out a little bit. So this is our production basically. And large steel tube is 10 iron just to make one. So we do sale price here. And the sale price would be the cost per iron in this case. And we got to do, I don't know if we could even do it this way. Probably not. Kind of like nickel, silicon, and cobalt. I don't think we could do it this way. It doesn't make sense to do it that way, but we'll say for now, and we'll figure out something for these things here down the line. But as you see here, we have the sale price. We got to go back. It's 1879. So this would be this divided by this, and that is our per ingot cost. 213 for interior plates, and of course 213 for one is 213, obviously. Girders, 365 for girders, and here we go. It's looking like girders is the better buy right now as it stands. Okay, so here's the problem we run into. It's like things like this. Metal grids, which has 3 different mats and resources that's necessary, but it costs 3,278. So how would you split your iron, nickel, silicon, cobalt in this case? So that's where it gets a little bit rough to kind of calculate. All right, so enough with the spreadsheet. Let's look at what else we can do here. So I'm thinking, as I was looking at it as well, we gotta get down all this information down in order to make sense of it. We can get an average cost of iron based on large steel tubes, girders, interior plates, construction components, all those things if they do sell them at one point in time to get a good idea. The ones that split between multiple items like display is iron and silicon, so we got to figure out the cost there. But we can break it down by the average cost of iron, subtract it from the sale price to get the cost of silicon in this case. So like the cost of display is 407. And they only sell girders and interior plates in this case. And the average, not based on this price, based on another price earlier, would be about 197, 198 is the average cost of iron, based on stripping out girders and interior plates. If we put 337 as the cheap cost, obviously the price drops a bit, so it's 182, 183 roughly per iron. So in order to make a display, it's 0.33 iron and 1.67 silicon. So we could take the average of let's just say 185 is an iron. So in the case of this, then it would probably be 185 times 0.33 because it only takes 33 iron. So 33 of iron, not a full iron. So it wouldn't be the full price. So that costs $61. No, 61. Yeah, that'll be a breakdown of 61. So out of the 61 is iron, and the rest is silicon. So that'll be 401 minus 61, which would be 346. And then it takes 1.67 silicon to make a display. So we divide 346 with the 1.67. And your pricing for a silicon would be roughly around 207 in this case. So that could kind of give us a breakdown of the cost per silicon. So we got to keep looking through that to kind of make sure how that works. I mean, obviously we just look at bulletproof glass and that gives us silicon. So that actually works out a lot easier than doing all the crazy math that we just did, but it's going to give us an average here in this case. So glass takes 5. So in this case, 1041 divided by 5, that'll be 208.2. So give or take, when you have iron and silicon together, it's a little harder to kind of measure it out exactly based on the average, but we'll probably just jot down as much numbers as possible so that we have a larger average, which we should have done that in season 1. We're planning to do that in some ways. So I think this time around, we'll just jot it all down. Whatever is commonly sold here, we'll figure that out. I mean, even these things we can pretty much buy and sell as well. So like rocket launchers, pistols, magazines, all these things for sure. We can get we can always buy and dismantle and things like that. What I always net us any money? Probably not much. We probably are gonna be at a loss for the most part, but we'll see how it goes. Like I didn't even know they sold small steel plates, small steel twos, but they do. So it's 355 for that. So that's interesting. And actually, that doesn't make sense to buy that for steel plates right now too, because it's so much more expensive. But at least we know how to buy it cheap. But again, selling is the problem. So like the best we could do is sell detector components, maybe magnesium powder potentially. So one magnesium powder. Where did I have that? I think that's what we're gonna do in this case. We're gonna turn this around. Instead of producing ores, we buy, dismantle, and sell. It's likely the best thing to do here. I gotta figure out the cost of nickel because magnesium powder we get from Gatling ammo, and you get one magnesium powder. So one magnesium powder could sell for 29,431, which is an interesting case here. So if we were to buy Gatling ammo, it costs us 75,250. So out of that, we got to do the math for the average and hopefully get the decent idea of the cost, what the Gatling ammo is gonna be. So it takes a lot of iron to make Gatling ammo. So 1333, well 13.33, and then nickel 1.67. Give or take your current average of girders, small steel tubes, things like that that's being sold currently, and interior plates. It's at like 192 times 13.33, and that's the iron. That's 2,560 basically, roughly. So you subtract that from the 75,250, and I guess the sale point of the magnesium powder, if anything, then we gotta figure out the nickel. So if we did it that way, we're not gonna make any money because we're looking at the sale price of a magnesium powder. So it definitely doesn't work out because 75,250, give or take, iron costs 192 per, and we times that by the 13.33, it gives us 2560. The 2560 plus the 29,431 to sell for magnesium powder, and it's 1 per Gatling ammo, and it takes nickel. Nickel's 1.67 to make, but I don't think nickel's the difference between the two materials minus the full cost of a Gatling ammo box, which then leaves us with 43,260. I don't think that's the case here. That definitely doesn't make sense, or that's just way too costly. It would work out if we need the iron, I think, right? No, it still doesn't. This is expensive for what it is. Because if we needed the iron, then it would be easier to break down a girder interior plates. That is much, much cheaper. Yeah, that definitely doesn't work out much at all, does it? It'll work out if it's like, things we could sell, not sell, but acquisition. So we could break that down and then get the money from that. So like this, I could get decent money out of versus selling it. But like selling 12 of these to be 10,236. That'll be 853 per. But if I sell it here, a lot more. So I'm gonna grab that contract before it expires. It's minimum money, but it's better than nothing at this point. Another mill for superconductor. I know where to find superconductors, which is shields, but we should definitely not get rid of our shields. That'll be a terrible, terrible idea. So we're kind of relying on the acquisitions a little bit too in this case. Yeah, I mean, all this doesn't really work out too well. I mean, yeah, that generally to just get a full listing of what it's selling there and try to figure out all the different calculations per ingots, so we get a good idea of being able to sell it, buying and sell. I mean, certain things we could buy that should work out, and certain things we shouldn't buy that wouldn't work out. Because we could always use those materials too. Did I leave my shield on? That's not good. The shield controller's off, but the emitter's on. But it needs the controller for it. That's that's not good. We'll leave it off. Hopefully it doesn't do anything. Hopefully we didn't lose anything whatsoever from that. Alright, we're getting pretty charged up, so that's good. This is gonna last us quite some time. And we'll refill up the hydrogen when it goes down a little bit more. But oh wait, where am I going? I wanted to go check to see certain things like rocket launchers and such, to see what that cost is going to be to make. Okay, so it's iron, nickel, and cobalt. Okay, so we can really break down, see what the cost per one of these things are. I really do wish there was something that just used nickel, so I could easily find out how much that really costs. I mean, motors, yeah, I guess you could find it out there, but it doesn't really sell. I don't see where we sell or buy it, so yeah, we definitely need a mining station. That is pretty much our primary way to figure certain things out. Like, weapons itself is definitely not going to cost a lot. The decent amount would be rocket launcher. Your rifles, everything. I don't think that's worth even diving into. Your ammo, however, is pretty significant when it comes to the Gatling ammo box. But I don't think nickel's costing us 40,000 now, based on our breakdown. So, but maybe the sell point of magnesium is a lot less than selling it at or buying it at the Gatling ammo box. So there's that too, in this case. So it sounds like we will always lose out in any way or form in this case, unless it's acquisitioned. So we can always buy things like that and get what we need out of it and sell the rest, so we kind of don't lose out too much on it. Oh look, they do sell motors. Okay, so that can help me find the cost of nickel by buying. So the motor, 6.67 iron and 1.67 nickel, and this is your sale price. So, and you see here interior place is 182, so I gotta add it to my averages. But in this case, let's just say per iron ingot right now is 182. So let's just break it down. 182 times 6.67 will be 1214 roughly, and we'll subtract that from the sale price, and that'll be roughly 1332. So 1332 is the remaining cost. So we divide it with the 1.67 for nickel, and that'll give us 798 for the nickel. So 798 nickel. So technically nickel would probably cost roughly 80 credits per nickel. So if we're looking at the uses 1.67 as well, based on that logic, with the Gatling ammo costing 75 before, it's a lot less now. But even at 69606, with some averaging and stuff like that, it still doesn't work out too much, does it? Actually, it does. It works out close. So based on buying this and averaging out all the costs of iron, nickel, and magnesium, we get the close amount here. So actually, we're buying a higher. So it's 36,283 right now. But again, that's all based on averages of like kind of low averages right now. So we get an average, so we get kind of close to this number. Then it would be worth buying and then selling in this case when it comes to the Gatling ammo. So it also becomes useful because if I didn't necessarily want to sell the iron, sell the nickel, I could buy the Gatling ammo, dismantle it for the iron, and then sell the magnesium, and it will make up for it. So it wouldn't kind of like break even, but it'll make up for the cost for dismantling. So it would be worth buying Gatling ammo in this case. especially if we needed iron and nickel. All right, so this pretty much is the spreadsheet episode. And doing some of the, I guess, kind of like the maintenance of everything as well. I'm going to keep buying data pads. I'm also charging up the ship. I'm doing a lot in the back end as well. So we just had to combine everything and do it that way. But yeah, I definitely got to put it in the work for the spreadsheet to make a little bit more sense. I think when we do like sale price, we'll grab the average sale price of those items that we keep looking at and then put it into our spreadsheet. So then that way we can get a good idea of what the per iron cost would be and things like that. We'll work on averages because we never, well, we could buy high and low. We could do that as well as we did before to kind of make sense of that spreadsheet. So once I get that worked out, I'll probably show it one more time. And then we'll work off of that as we're buying and selling components until we find a mining economy base, which imagine I find it right now. All right, we got an MN station that's 247 away. That might be a good sign. And another one at 155. Okay, the 247, not the greatest one. It's the same as the moon, I would assume. I'll put it up just in case. The 155 is looking good. We got a 107 EX. Okay. SLs we don't care too much about anyway, so we're fine with that. MK we don't need. MNs. Ooh, there's one at 151. Which is the one that's already in the planet, so let's not mark that one. Let's just say this is planet. Alright, let's go take a look to see where we're working with. So these are the same, so we'll mark this as moon. But this one, I want to know where that one is. Let me get rid of that one. There's this one and these two. Oh, there's a planet. All right, let's see what's there. So MN is over there. Oh, that's definitely in the planet for sure. So that doesn't work out. I mean, it's 5 kilometers away from this one. Which is in the planet actually. Yeah, that's definitely in the planet. Okay, so let's scratch that. We have, don't care about that one. You have EX and a PR. EX not as promising. Your PR it's likely a no-go as well. So that's, yeah, that doesn't work out. Your MN is near the MK. The MK was in the planet, I think. Or is that something I left out and I didn't unmark? That probably isn't the planet, unfortunately. Yeah, so based on my experience so far, I think all these are planetary. 107 EX, yeah, that's all planetary. Oh, this is a stinker. So basically, all these are planets. Let's get rid of this. It's a planet. Now, best bet is travel really far to find another base that's not on a planet. Hopefully. Or we go to the moon one. But then I feel like we're just gonna sit there for a long time if we go to the moon one. Because that's gonna be more favorable to buy and sell ores and make ingots and things like that. So I don't want it to make it that way. So let's not get to there. If we roam around a little bit, we might be able to find one of those trade bases again. So that would be nice if that were to happen. I highly doubt that would happen. And I just saved this one from blowing up in my face. And it's got some goodies in it as well. Woo! That blew up in my face. Alright. Other things we could do. go to these military escorts, mining carriages, things like that. Mining carriages might actually have mats. So those are the thing about those things. But would it be worth it to kind of get up to it, try to get inside it and steal some stuff? Maybe. Should we do it with our main ship? Probably not. Maybe we buy that scout if we can. I mean, so far away. We got to travel back and forth. The pain. We need a jump drive on this thing. I don't know if we can even retrofit one in here. It's gonna cost a lot to make a jump drive, obviously. So a jump drive, it is 1,000 superconductors, and I mean, so far we only got 3 mil. I think we calculated we needed 10 million just to make that happen. So I highly doubt we're gonna get some jump drives anytime soon. 3,000 per. And yet we can't even buy all at once too. So we gotta buy it several times. So we gotta make our way to do superconductors. That's our best bet at this point. And again, we can make money by selling magnesium powder. We can't even sell all that many either. So that sucks. We're gonna sell 500,000 at a time if we even have 500,000 worth of it. Yeah, so just kind of back and forth with all this. Acquisitions. I'm gonna pick that up because that's easy to make. And that's about it. Yikes. Alright, so I'll work on that spreadsheet, share it, and show it once more in the next episode, if anything. But yeah, this was the spreadsheet episode. So hopefully we expand on it and it works out eventually. Other than that, I mean, we became a bit of a millionaire in terms of credits for once in this specific scenario. So we're going to continue to expand our numbers here and maybe even buy a ship. But we do need to travel back and forth. Traveling back and forth is such a pain, but we need to connect into a mining economy base. It just needs to happen in this case. Or maybe we just get ourselves situated and start attacking like corvettes and things like that. That'll net us a lot of mats if we can get a ship. Maybe we go for a neutral one to be on the safer side. For now, so we don't get shot down initially, we'll sneakily attack them, lose our reputation just a tiny bit, and kind of work our way back up, if anything. Well, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, you guys know what to do. That is like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.